welcome to another round of Ray's Boom Boom Room. I'm your host, Ray Mancini, here with my ace corner man, cut man, Mike Case. A lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
And especially about the fight this past weekend. We got a very, very special guest waiting on the line for us, right from Las Vegas, who was there in the heat of it all. And we're going to speak to him in one moment. But I want to talk to you real fast, Mike. How about yesterday, this Kobe Bryant memorial service?
Yesterday.
Did
you watch?
Yeah. Well, no. I saw after
the highlights.
Yeah. On all the sports and the news but I don't know if he understood how well beloved he was.
I would agree. I would agree that his impact,
because I lived in LA all those years, and he was well respected. Everyone would agree, not always liked by everybody. I should say that. Everyone thought he was kind of standoffish and all thing, which he said he was.
And him with
by his own
Shaq and that dynamic, and Shaq getting run out of town.
Blamed him for Shaq leaving, but then when he won a couple titles with Paul Gasol, they said, well, they were right. But a lot of people blamed him. But how beloved he was, which is a beautiful thing to see, and what a smart kid! It really was. He dedicated himself to children's books, and he won the Oscar for the short basketball story, Basketball Life. Very, very just deep son of a gun. Really a deep kid, and I didn't realize, and that's a beautiful thing to see how well beloved he was, and to see his wife and all the people speak about it. I didn't realize he had such a close relationship with Michael Jordan.
I thought that part was interesting because if you've been in my shoes where you've ever interviewed him after a game, you have to wait until he gets the tie on and looks perfect. He needs Michael Jordan would always want to be perfect. Like his image was a very important thing to him, and he wasn't ever really controversial or anything like that. You never really got to see the true Michael Jordan, but then to hear what he was saying and to see the tears running down his cheeks, it's almost like that was kind of like the first time for me anyway, where you really got to know that he wasn't just a basketball machine and a corporate, whatever. Like he was just a real person for once, and that was really great.
It was, and a lot of people didn't know, and I'm sure they don't know. Even guys on the lot of sportscasts said, I didn't know Michael was as close to Kobe as they were, but that's the beautiful thing. You don't see a lot of things behind the scenes. They developed a friendship, and even Shaq come up. Everybody says my little brother, which is a beautiful thing to see. Don't get me wrong, but it's nice, And that was the funniest line about what Shaq said. Now they bleeped it.
Yeah.
Ain't no I in team, but there's an M-E, M-E, and I'm assuming. He said, motherfucker.
Yeah, he did. He did. He MF'd it.
And he said that, I'm assuming it's an M-E, which is true. It's an M-E there.
Yeah.
Good thing we're on
we're on the podcast.
We're on the podcast.
It's not too bad. Yeah, but that was cool that he and then Shaq said he went to the coach and said, yeah, we're just going to rebound then. We'll let him shoot and we'll just rebound it because he ain't passing it. That was funny.
But anyhow, I know it's just
how about the strength for the wife? What's her name, Vanessa? To say, to be able to even get up there and say some of the things and remember some of the things. I've done eulogies before. It's awful. It's awful.
I've never
sometimes you can't get through it.
And I can't say I did. And let me just say this. I'm married. I remember all reading about it when he was a freshman, rookie. When he started dating her, that's the thing. He was dating this young 18-year-old girl, high school girl. And he married her right out of high school. She was 18 when he married her. He was 20.
Right.
21. And, they went to that one hiccup, and by all accounts, they had a strong marriage, and they ended it stronger than ever. And I admire that. I admire that more than anything, is that he was a devoted husband and a devoted father. It's a beautiful thing to see. And the fact that he took after his retirement, took it to a different place, and won the Academy Award for that. It's incredible. It just shows that what you can do once you retire. You're not a basketball player always.
And just what a talented person.
Yes.
Not just a talented athlete.
Very deep.
But a talented person.
Very deep guy.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this past weekend, it was one of the biggest hyped fights of all time. One of the biggest hyped heavyweight fights of all time between, and we talked about it, Mike, and our next guest, I'm going to ask him, we're going to talk about that. because you asked me last week, does it make a difference when you got a white fighter and a black fighter? And I said, absolutely. No, everyone knows boxing's about the race. It started out in the 20s. It was the Jews. The 30s it was the Irish. The 40s it was the Italians. Now it's the black and Hispanics. Those are the best fighters. So whenever you have a good white fighter or a white fighter who's out there and like, look, I was the only white champion for a long time. They're all shooting for me. You got a target on your head no matter what. This guy's bigger. He's bigger than most. He's more braggadocious than most. He lets you know who the Gypsy King, and he goes out there and he said, "I'm going to knock this guy out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it." And all accounts, you got to pay attention to that. So you want to see that. So what happened? I thought that you asked me, did I think the fight lived up to the hype? I did.
Okay.
You said you didn't.
I did not.
But I'm saying, you said you didn't like the fight. I said, I like the fight. But when I say the hype, because meaning, are they still talking about it on Monday, on Tuesday? Is it water cooler conversation? And this is. So to me, it lived up to the hype. If it ain't, if nobody's talking about it on Monday, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
But this one did because of, I'm going to knock you out. The last fight was controversial. By all accounts, most people thought Fury should have won the decision. Even though he got dropped twice, Wilder said, "I've dropped you twice. I'm going to keep you on this time. I'm going to knock you out for good this time." And then and then Fury said, "I'm going to knock you out, you bum, you Dasa, whatever Dasa." Yeah. I'm assuming they have all this terminology, Dasa. All this terminology. It was just great, all the back and forth, because Fury could talk with the best of them, and but he said he did what he said he was going to do.
That's true.
So
I just use a different criteria as you. My theory is if I was at home and I paid $75 for that fight, would I be glad I did or mad that I did? And I would have been mad that I did.
But
so
why?
that to me.
Why? Because they didn't go full distance?
Well, we'll bring in our guest now. If he wants to hear my thoughts, I'll be glad. I don't care about the distance.
Well, first of all, I'm not sure I don't want to hear your thoughts all the time.
See?
All the time.
Just a
but today
person.
I do.
Not a boxing aficionado like you guys.
Let me bring in our next guest.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is a good friend of mine. One of the top boxing writers in the country by far. There's only about a handful of these guys. He's definitely one of them. He's been out there in Las Vegas. He's just told us that in 1982. I thought, that's the year I won the title. But I did not know he's originally from Pittsburgh, PA, down the street, just down the street
down
from
the
us.
road.
Grew up, went to high school, college in Pittsburgh. So I'm very happy to know that. I did not know he was a homeboy. So, but when I arrived in Las Vegas, 1982, he's been there ever since. And one of the top boxing writers, one of the top boxing minds. If you talk to him, he knows the game. He's seen enough of them. He's seen them all, from the 80s and the 90s, and to now. He's very intimate. Knows these fighters intimately.
Yeah. He's a go-to. Like if you want to, when you watch a fight, you want to hear or read what this guy's got to say.
Wrote for the Review Journal. Las Vegas. Well, I gotta ask it. Las Vegas Journal. I'm gonna ask it. Las Vegas Journal Review. Yeah, Review Journal. Is that it? The Las Vegas paper. How's that?
Yeah.
There was two of them at one time. I think there's only one now. Anyhow, with no further ado, my dear friend and top boxing writer, top boxing mind. Keyword: boxing mind. He knows the game. Kevin Iole. Kevin, how are you, my friend? Oh, ready for Yahoo now. Ready for Yahoo now.
All right.
He's a Yahoo on the internet and everything, so he has his own thing. So anyhow,
hi,
Kevin, how are you?
I am doing great. Good to hear from you guys.
Kevin, how was that intro? Was that okay? Did I do okay?
That coming from you, that was like the best. when my dad was alive, you were his second favorite fighter. His favorite fighter was Rocky Marciano. Then all of a sudden, Ray Mancini comes around, and my dad is in love with Mancini. So whenever I see you, I always think of my dad. So it makes me happy.
I appreciate that, Kevin. It's very kind. Now, Kevin, it used to be Las Vegas Journal, but is it still Las Vegas Journal or is it Review Journal?
Yeah, Review Journal. It's been the Review Journal for a long time.
Yeah, it has, right. But it was Las Vegas Journal. It wasn't always Las Vegas Review Journal, right?
Yeah, it's the Review Journal. Yeah,
now
it's been
it
that
is.
for a while.
Okay.
And I was there. I left there in 2007 and went to Yahoo in 2007. So I've been at Yahoo for quite a while now.
Okay. So I didn't realize you left there. Okay, that long ago. I didn't realize you left there long. I thought you did both. But I guess Yahoo says, hey, we need you full time. and it's we're offering you a better deal. Okay.
Yeah, they offered me a deal I couldn't refuse. That's what I would say.
Now, Kevin, tell us. you were there that night. I saw your live stream right after the fight, and that's why I wanted to get in touch with you to come on. I wanted somebody who was there, but you've been to all the big fights from the 80s on. What was the atmosphere like in this one?
I'd say, they did a great job. The only thing that I did not like, where I would agree with Mike when he asked the question about, did you feel like you spent your money wisely? I thought the undercard was terrible. They didn't put on a very good undercard, and they could have done a better job on that. So, but if we go to the main event, from the presentation of the main event, the atmosphere was electric when they came out. The Brits were into it, singing.
Right.
I thought Fury's walkout was epic.
Yeah,
carried on the throne, and he was playing Patsy Cline's "Crazy," which alluded to his mental health issues. And then Wilder, and we little did we know with Wilder the story that would come up about his costume as he walked to the ring. But I thought that the fight lived up to it. From a competitive standpoint, hey, they were going at it. The bell rang. Tyson Fury bounced out of the corner. He landed a jab and a right hand immediately, and I think that set a tone for the kind of fight it was going to be. And Fury, in my mind, Ray fought a perfect fight. I don't think he could have fought a better fight if he would have done that 10 times. It was just an amazing performance by him.
It was. And by all accounts, look, it'll be the biggest name. You know as well as I do. Bob, now they're talking about, that Deontay activated the rematch clause.
Correct.
And but Bob and Shelley are good friends. And to me, they want it right back. I understand that, but maybe Bob and Shelley will talk. Maybe Fury, Joshua might be bigger fight. They could probably sell Wembley Stadium. That's 100,000, and let Wilder get the winner of that. Or but I don't understand you want to fight the guy to beat you. So I get that. I get it. So that'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple months. But I got to tell people, Bob has been a top promoter for the last 50, 60 years. He ain't had a heavyweight since Hoover was president. Now that he's got a heavyweight and he's got Tyson Fury, Bob will milk this cow till it's dry. Do you agree or you don't agree?
I totally agree, but I want to just tell you a little story you may not know. You know how Top Rank got Tyson Fury?
No, I don't. No, I was wondering.
It was me. Because I actually watched Tyson Fury appeared on Joe Rogan podcast, and I watched the podcast, and he talked about his mental health problems, and it was really an incredible interview. And Ray, if any of your listeners want to see it, they can just go on YouTube and search for Tyson Fury Joe Rogan, and they'll find it. And it was incredible. So I called Todd DeBuff, the president of Top Rank, after it was over. And I said, dude, you got to listen to this. This guy was incredible. It was the most amazing thing. And he's like, So I went and found it, and I sent it to him. And he called me, and later he said, when I listened to that podcast, you were right. We had to sign this guy, and I went out and I made a deal with Frank Warren to get him.
Well, I was wondering. See, that was the thing. I knew Frank Warren was his manager, but I thought Eddie Hearn had him tied up, but obviously not.
No, Eddie Hearn wanted to get Fury, but Fury's been with Frank Warren for a long time, and when Warren made the deal, knew it was better for Tyson to come to Las Vegas and work with Top Rank, and so he made that co-promotional deal because now he's getting on ESPN and getting that exposure that ESPN provides in the U.S. that he didn't get when he was in the UK.
Right. No, I thought it was a brilliant move. I just didn't know how it came about, Or I didn't know if he was a free agent or not. And Bob was a fan, because Bob's the best at that stuff. He really is very good at finding these find those guys and scooping them up, and he can, he'll turn him into a champion, and he'll keep him a champion for as long as they want to be champion, because Bob will create every type of fight, every type of atmosphere. What I'm trying to event. He'll make it an event every time he fights. Now he's got Tyson Fury. It's going to be an event. You don't even have to try. It's going to be an event. And Bob will do very well with him. They will do very well together, I should say.
I agree with you.
I mean, but what's the last time Bob had a heavyweight champion? Was it Ollie?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Kevin, when's the last time Bob had a heavyweight champion?
Oh, I think George Foreman. George Foreman was his last champion in the 90s.
In the 90s.
When Foreman beat Michael Moore, he had Foreman.
That's right. Okay, I forgot about that. So, I mean, it's just brilliant. So, but that was the thing. So the atmosphere was electric. The fight lived up to the hype. Now here's last week I had some people on. A friend of mine said this. He said when Deontay Wilder gets hit, he says his legs go out like a giraffe, and I start laughing.
I couldn't stop thinking of that.
I thought that exactly, Mike.
The whole
right.
fight.
And Kevin said when he went out and he got staggered, he looked like a giraffe. He did.
He was
his
just
legs
off
were all over the place,
balance the whole time.
And I said, "I'll be damned." And my friend said, you take away his right hand. That's all he depends on. He got no, he might as well stick the left hand up his ass because he don't use it, and he didn't. That's the thing. It's basic stuff, Kevin. You know better than me. Jab. To me, Wilder he'd be unbeatable if he just used that jab instead of like a heavyweight Alexis Arguello. Arguello would win rounds just with the left hand, and then you log guys to sleep, and then all of a sudden drop the right hand. Boom! It was over. But Wilder's so dependent on the right hand. I don't know. These guys never taught him how to fight. And Mark Breland was a trail of a fighter. He looks, by all accounts, is a good trainer, and JD's too. But when Wilder gets hurt or bewildered or out of sync, everything is that right hand. He does nothing to set up. He looks so amateurish. Am I wrong?
No, here's what I think. I think he's had so much success early in his career because they fed him a lot of guys that, didn't give him competition. One of the things that made, Top Rank so good was people don't think about was Bruce Trampler, their matchmaker.
The best.
And
the
Bruce
best.
Knew how to build fighters. He did it for you. He did it for so many fighters.
Because he was a protege of Teddy Brenner. He was a protege of Teddy Brenner. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Right, yeah, right. And what Bruce learned from Teddy Brenner, who was the best, and Bruce is now the best. And what Bruce did is he would look at guys and he would say, okay, he's ready for this type of fighter. He needs to see this type of fighter. And so by the time you got to the top level and you were ready to fight the best guys in the world, you had seen every style and you were exposed to it. And you knew what you had to do to combat it. That was the genius of Bruce Trampler. And I think when Deontay on the way up, he didn't have that. So he was just able to hit guys, and he wasn't forced to develop the skills and everything. Now, I think Deontay has good footwork, but he doesn't use it properly. What he is good at doing is getting his feet quickly set and then turning off and throwing that right hand. So I kind of thought the way the fight would go, Fury would be winning all the rounds, and then sooner or later he'd make a mistake and Wilder would land the right and the fight would be over. And that was almost what happened the first time around, but right. Fury negated it the second time because he fought brilliantly.
Well, you just said he came forward, and that was by all accounts. He said he was going to do it. And, I listen to guys, even my friend Mark Kriegel, I listen to him. And he says, what do you got to do? You back, if you're going to be the bully, you got to back the bully up. The only chance you got against the bully is to back him up. And it made sense, all accounts. I just didn't think he'd be able to do it successfully. But I don't know about this. Kevin, I said today, and I might be wrong, but I'm not so sure. I said, I'm not so sure it was a whole lot. Look, Tyson Fury is a good fighter. I don't think he's a good fighter. He can move. He got good movement. I don't think he could punch a lick because he pushes his punches. He's a big, strong guy. He clubbed Wilder and knocked him down the first time. Now, he didn't win a hell of a body shot the second time. I couldn't believe he went down with a body shot. I ain't seen a heavyweight or a heavyweight champion go down with a body shot since forever. But he's a big, strong guy who clubs you around. But he's got good. I always thought he was a good fighter because he had good movement. He's a good boxer, good movement. But I never thought he was. And I still don't think he's that. He's a good fighter, but I think he's very beatable too. But the thing is, I don't think it was so much of what Fury did. I think it was a lot more of what Wilder didn't do. Am I wrong in that?
Let me ask you this: were we disappointed in Wilder and our level of disappointment? Because I was disappointed in that.
I just think it was less of what he did than more of what Fury.
How about you, Kevin?
I was disappointed in Deontay too. I thought that he would show better than that, and I thought that he would be understanding of the fact of what Fury was going to try to do. Because look, in boxing, there's a couple ways you can deal with a puncher like that. Back in the day, Ernie Shavers, Mike Tyson, Foreman, Ron Lyle,
right.
All these guys.
Right.
The way you deal with it is either you give them movement and a jab and you create angles, or you go toward him and make him back up, because most big guys and most big punchers like that can't fight very well going backwards. And Wilder hadn't shown against anybody really any good in his career that he could do that. So he had an entire training camp to work with Mark Breland and JD's and know this is what Fury's going to do. This is what I have to do to counteract it. And he just looked like he wasn't ready for it. I mean, I think, he had to come out with some kind of better game plan than he had. He claimed, to me that the costume cost him his legs, and so the game plan that he did have in effect, he couldn't execute because of the problems he had with his legs from the costume. Some people are mocking him for that, but he truly believes that. But I think, whatever it was, I was disappointed because he did not establish a proper game plan. He never showed anything in the fight.
So wait, he told you about the costume? Like he specifically said this to you? And what was it about the costume?
I was the one that broke the news. I was the one that broke the news yesterday, yeah.
Well, what was so bad about it? Was it too heavy?
I called him on Sunday to talk about just a follow-up. He didn't attend the post-fight press conference. So I called him on Sunday, and he wanted to wait till Monday to talk. He wanted to take an extra day off. So I understood that. So I talked to him yesterday afternoon, and the first question I asked him is, I said, Deon, I asked him about his health, and then after he said he was fine, then I said to him, it seemed like, you got hit with the right hand early in the fight and your equilibrium was off and you never had your balance the rest of the way. And he said, no, it wasn't that. He goes, I lost my legs because I wore this 40-plus pound outfit to the ring, and it was a big mistake. And I was shocked. And at first I thought he was kidding, but his voice was serious. So, I asked him another question about it, and no, he wasn't kidding at all. He was serious. So that's what he said.
And you said he got the costume the day before?
Yeah, he had ordered it earlier, but it did not arrive till Friday evening. So he didn't even try it on until Saturday. So, yeah, that was and then they were debating. He said in the locker room they were debating, when do I put it on? How early do I put the thing on? Yeah, so it was like, I don't think it was really a well-thought-out thing.
No, that's what I said. You were talking about these costumes. Everyone's worried about the costume. I said, how about you putting a robe and trunks on? Like everybody else. Wear a nice robe and trunks, glitter it up the way you want.
Or just go Tyson and don't even do the robe,
Yeah, right. Like that,
Show up.
Robe. Kevin, these things are getting ridiculous now. And you know what? You want to worry about the costume, how fly you're going to look coming in the ring. It just cost you the world title. Just cost you.
It did.
If you believe that. If you believe that's the case. And obviously he does. I just put the damn robe and trunks on. How about that? Put glitter on the robe.
I agree with you, Ray. But here's the problem. Here's what the problem has become. When you were fighting in the 80s, you look at boxing, and it was a bigger sport than it is right now.
Yeah, it is.
Boxing's kind of gotten marginalized over the last couple of years. So people like us that are diehards, we are into it, but they're trying to appeal to people who maybe they were boxing fans before but gave up on it because of all the problems that they were having. So they're trying to do things that they think will attract casual fans or create new fans. They're trying to do something. So I like that aspect, but I think you can't lose sight of what this is a sporting competition, and you're there to win your event. So all the colorful stuff you do, no matter what it is, if you cannot perform because of it, then you don't do it. And that's what I would say.
Well, it's funny you said that. He just got it Friday and he didn't try it on. I had a woman in Youngstown make all my robe and trunks from when I was an amateur till I was a pro. But I always did a fitting before she finished it off. You do a fitting, that would probably help. Do a fitting. When I understand that you don't think it's going to weigh this. Don't they tell them? Hey,
do you know what it was made out of, Kevin? Did he say?
He didn't. I did not ask him, and I did know before the fight because one of the people on his team told us before, and I forget what it was, but there was batteries and all sorts of things in it, and but I don't know the actual material.
Okay, yeah, so it was heavier because it had to light up and sparkle and stuff.
Oh my God.
Right, it had the eyes lit, the mouth lit, and then there was a thing like around the neck and chest that lit up.
I cannot believe we're talking about this.
Well, no, that's the thing. That's going to be the talk most of the day and most of the week. But and I'm not saying it's not valid. Obviously, if you were 14 more pounds going in through the fight, or 40 more pounds. I'm sorry. What is it, 40 or 14? 40, right?
The costume was 40.
40.
30 pounds, okay.
But
he was heavier than he never weighed for any fight anyhow, right? But he wasn't a whole lot heavier, but what, 15 pounds?
Yeah, he was like 9 pounds heavier than he's ever been.
Right.
He weighed 231, and the highest he'd ever been was 222, I believe it was.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so now you put another 40, so you say 50 pounds heavier than he's ever been.
Yeah, with that.
Wow.
But and every single person that's talking about this right now will end their conversation and then add this. What a dumbass. Right? Isn't every single person going to do that right afterwards?
Yeah, people are laughing at him, and it's a shame, because he is a guy that really has done so much to lift the heavyweight division. Ray, you've done his fights.
Yes.
And, Mike, you and I have watched his fights.
Yep.
He's a guy that has done a lot to make heavyweight boxing popular, and he's promoted, and he's worked his rear end off to, help get the sport where it is. And now to see, the way in the biggest fight of his career, to see the way people are treating him, I'm disappointed for him that it happened that way.
Yeah, me too. Because you know what, I do like Deontay. Deontay is a real good guy. Funny. Before I met him, and all you read the things he says, and some things you go, oh, who is this guy, man? What? And then when you meet him, he totally takes you off guard. He's a sweet guy. He's a genuine guy. I really enjoyed meeting him. I really thought we developed, some type of friendship. But man, and I was hate to see him. I picked him to win. I was at an event and had a friend of mine said, Ray, what do you think? I said, Wilder's going to stretch him tonight. He'll leave no doubt. He's going to stretch him. And I said, he'll stretch. I said, the best bet is that this fight don't go 12. It ends by 10. He'll knock him out by 10. My guy looks at his guy and says, put 5,000 on Wilder to win, 5,000 on a knockout.
500 or 5,000?
5,000.
Oh, geez.
5,000 on the win. What did I say? No, I said, 5,000.
5,000?
Oh, no, 5,000 on him to win, 5,000 on a knockout. I said, after the fight, I called, I texted him, I said, I'm so sorry. He started laughing. He just said, he said, look, we all know when we're betting what we're getting ourselves into. No problem. But they count on my expertise.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel so bad. They count on my expertise, and I felt like a chump because I couldn't believe that he didn't, like you said, Kevin, he didn't do anything. He didn't perform at all. He was so amateurish. He looked so amateurish. I mean, I seen his amateur, some tapes of when he was an amateur. He looked like that. All over the place.
You watched the fight on television. I wonder if you saw this. Yesterday when I wrote my story, a person who watched the fight online, I don't know, he just reached out to me on social media, and he said, how come you didn't write anything about him walking around in the locker room? And I said, well, I was at the fight. I didn't see what he was doing in the locker room. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he said Wilder was pacing back and forth. So I actually checked with some people, and sure enough, he was up, like he didn't sit down for the last 90 minutes and was just pacing around the locker room and said, he might have walked 2 miles in the locker room just doing what he was doing. And I wonder if that might have, kind of worn him out a little bit. He didn't relax and lay down. He was just, kind of going back and forth.
Well, Kevin, it's funny you said that because, he was pacing back and forth. I don't know. Well, if it was an hour before, I thought it was, look, I remember when I used to sit there and they'd tell you, okay, and then Griff would say, okay, they'd say about 45 minutes to an hour, okay, Ray, put your shoes on. And then about a half hour before we knew we were supposed to go out, Griff say, okay, man, start shaking out. Stretch, shake out. And then you do a light shake out. And then about, they say, they come in, okay, 15 minutes. Then we start hitting the pads. 10 minutes, then 5 minutes. Okay, I got a nice sweat for after a couple, 3 rounds, about 10 minutes on the pads. We put my robe, and you go out. So that's how we did it. I didn't realize, I seen him pacing back and forth. That's common. A lot of guys pacing back and forth. I don't know if it was that early. If he was up an hour before the fight, if that's the case, that was stupid on all accounts. You rest your legs as long as, and that's what Griff said. Put your legs up, rest your legs as long as you can. And then about a half hour before we were supposed to go out is when I get up. I'd already be dressed, and then I'd get up and start stretching out, shaking out, and then doing like shadow boxing, and then hit the pads. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How much does the fight before you have to do in the timing of when your fight begins? Do you know what I mean? Because that was a knockout.
Right.
Didn't go the distance.
Right.
So does everything get moved up then?
Right.
Or how does it work?
Yes,
or is there a set time?
Usually for the main event, they have a time frame they want you out. It may be between 11, on East Coast time.
Sure.
They want you between 11:40 and 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
So if it ends early.
Yeah, so I had actually reported, Mike, I put this on Twitter. On Saturday morning, I talked to Todd DeBuff, the president of Top Rank, and I said, when is Fury going to make his ring walk? And he said his ring walk will start no earlier than 11:15 Eastern and no later than 12:10 Eastern. So he had basically a 55-minute window. So no matter what happened on the undercard, if everything was a first-round knockout, they were going to hold until 11:15 Eastern.
Right. Okay.
But if everything went the distance, then it could go as late as 12:10 Eastern. So that was the window that both fighters, Deontay and Tyson, knew that they had to face.
So it is a little dependent on the fights before you,
Yes.
especially the one right before you, right?
Well, because they had time. No matter, even if that had gone the distance, then there would have been about 20 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes to a half an hour. If that fight had gone the distance,
I see.
The Washington Martin fight, if that had gone the distance, they would have had about 20 minutes to a half an hour before they walked. So there was going to be time, no matter what happened in that fight.
Were you? I don't know where you sat, Kevin, for the fight, but were you able to see Fury licking the blood off Wilder? Were you able to see that from where you were at?
I did not see that until after the fight. That was on the other side of the ring from us. So we were in the press section on the opposite side of the promoters.
Uh-huh.
But so that happened right in the corner over by where the promoters were. And I saw them in the corner, but I could not tell that's what was going on. Fury was leaning and putting his weight on Wilder a lot, which was another thing that I thought was a really smart move on his part. He was 273 and he made Wilder carry that weight.
Right, it was. It was.
That I thought was a big thing, but I did not see the blood come off.
It's funny you said that, Kevin, because I said the same thing. I said the fact that Deontay was bending down and Fury just laid on top of him. That takes its toll on you, man. Don't bend over like that. When a guy comes in to tie you up, get under, tie him up, clutch his run, and hold him until the referee gets there.
He did it over and over.
Or as long as you got one hand free, keep whacking, keep punching. Because they say, protect yourselves up. But if you got one hand free, keep punching until you don't.
But he was bent over a lot, and he was holding like the back of his head almost, right?
He looked so amateurish. He just look. Everything, we had a guy on, like I said, a friend of mine was on last week.
It was Ed O'Neill from Modern Family, by the way.
Okay.
Can we say it?
Yes, we can. Why
He's
not?
the one that. We should give him credit. Let's give him
don't
credit.
give a shit. No, I was gonna say it anyway because he's the one who said he looks like a giraffe. Every time he gets in, he looks like a giraffe.
Is Ed from Pittsburgh? Isn't Ed from Pittsburgh?
No, he's from
Youngstown.
Youngstown. He's from here. He's right up the street from you. Eddie's from Youngstown. He's from the north side and from the south side.
Yeah.
So Eddie always says, Raymond, he looks like a giraffe. He was never sold on. You know what? He was never sold on Wilder. He never cared for Wilder. Right. He thought the first guy who stands up because he's able to take his punch is going to take him out. He'll take his heart away. And I said, well, now I got to know Deontay. Deontay's got a lot of heart. He's got a skill level. I thought that Steve Kim says it best. He's got the eraser. He calls it the eraser. I thought, well, that's a good way of putting it. He's like a heavyweight, like a long ball hitter in baseball, right? The number 4 hitter. Everything's power. Yeah. Everything's power. But even if he misses, don't get a home run, he could take the long ball, make other things happen. So Deontay's always with that big punch. But I still don't understand how come you don't set up with a jab, which is the obvious thing. Set up with the jab, blind them with the jab, and they come in. But you don't do that anymore. You don't even do that.
Yeah, no, that was appalling. And I think, Deontay, when he throws his jab and he commits to it, he has a good jab.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does.
Really, that's something that I was expecting him, because when he knew Fury was going to move forward, you got to say the jab is going to be something. When Fury comes forward, you got to pop him with that jab and make him think twice about getting in your punching range.
Yeah, that's the first thing they teach you. Plus, he's a tall guy, 6'7". Fury's 5'9". 6'9", I'm sorry. But I'm saying this, so the first time they fought each other, both guys are going to fight in guys that are close to their size. Usually they're not. Usually they're punching down on guys. So even other guys, Deontay never used a jab as a constant weapon. When, even last time when he knocked out Ortiz, he was setting it up, he stuck it out, he was setting it up for the right hand. But it was more like a range finder instead of a weapon, like the jab, building points with it. Pop, pop, feint, right. 1, 2, throw it 1, 2, triple jab. He don't do any of that. He just sticks out as a range finder for the right hand. But when the right hand lands, it did its job. But this time, man, he didn't even use it. He didn't even use it at all. Oh, my God.
No. Yeah, he did nothing. That was a shame.
It's exhausting, man. And if you're a trainer, that's what I'm going to say. No matter Mark Breland, who did him a favor. Because, Kevin, last thing I'll say, Kevin, you know as well as I do, when you go straight back into the corner and the ropes, you're looking for the referee to stop it. You know that.
Exactly.
Everybody knows that. When they tell you, you got to show me something, and you back straight into the corner, You're looking for the referee to stop it.
So did the?
So I'm saying he quit. Not that he quit.
Yeah.
But he was looking for a way out.
Did his corner do the right thing?
Yeah, Mark Breland did the right thing. Of course he did. It's stupid for anybody to say he didn't. Do you agree, Kev?
Not that you'd be.
Yeah, no. I don't think he quit, but I also understand what you're saying, and I think that that's a body language thing that referees interpret. And you go, and hey, look, even if you're not looking to quit, you get in that corner and you're taking a beating, the referee knows you've taken a beating for all this time. Now, you get in the corner, and he's on his front foot. He's ready to step in there because you're giving him a reason to say, hey, you know what, maybe this guy's had enough. So you never want to give the referee a reason to think you're done. You want to make the referee, hey, I'm fine. I'm just looking for my shot. I'm looking for my thing. Remember the Ortiz fight. That's kind of what the impression you want to leave on the referee, not, hey, I'm in trouble and I'm backing away to kind of protect myself.
No, I don't think he quit. I don't think he quit. What I do think is when he went back to the corner, you're looking for the referee to stop it. Not that he quit. I just think he knew he was overmanned. And you know what? I'm going to go out like a man. It's an honorable thing to have a referee stop. I don't think he quit. I just think he was overwhelmed. I think he kind of knew he couldn't do anything more than what he was doing. And it's the honorable way out, as most people know. You know that. He didn't quit, though. He was still going to be there as long as he had to be. But for them to say that Mark Breland did the wrong thing, or Mark Breland, no. He did him a favor. Mark Breland saved him.
Could the crowd there, did you guys know, because I didn't catch it the first time, that the corner stopped it and not the ref? Could you guys tell from where you were in the ring? Or knew?
Yeah, we saw the towel come in.
Okay.
So from our angle, Breland was across the ring and to the right from us, so we saw the towel come in the ring. And the interesting thing, Kenny Bayless stops the fight, and Deontay right away said, "What are you stopping it for? I blocked that punch." And Kenny pointed and said, "Look at the towel." And Deontay turned around and he saw the towel and he went right over to Mark.
Yeah. Do you think they did the right thing?
I do. And I wrote a column on Yahoo Sports on Sunday after the fight, and I said Mark Breland's a hero because he saved Deontay from a bad situation. He wasn't going to win the fight. He was in a situation where he could have gotten hurt, and I think Breland went in there and Breland said, "Hey, look, we're in good shape."
No, he would have got hurt because he was taking some big punches. Look, I thought his jaw was broken, but obviously that's not the case. But it looked like it was all swollen on, right up around up near the ear. I thought he had a perforated eardrum, but by all accounts, you said he doesn't have it. Correct? He didn't have a perforated eardrum.
No, he did not. So he had no broken jaw, no broken eardrum, so he was fine.
But it's just the blood. So he got cut in the ear because that blood was coming.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a cut in the ear.
Yeah, because it was bleeding pretty good. It
was a 2 centimeter cut in his ear.
But you just said his equilibrium was all messed up.
Yeah, what was the scuttlebutt on press row or where you go with the reporters in between rounds when he was just falling all over the place and he just couldn't catch his balance?
Yeah, we were shocked. I mean, we're watching it and we're shocked. What is happening here? I can't believe this. I mean, it was nothing that I'd ever seen before, especially from him.
Right. Kevin,
So let's move forward. Is Fury, is he just going to, if it's a smaller opponent, just maul them, or is he gonna? Do you see him just being? Is there any challenge for this guy whatsoever? Because that guy was supposed to be the best. I mean, that's why we hyped this fight. Then he was supposed to be the best, and he just dominated it.
Obviously they're gonna have a rematch, so we'll see how that rematch goes. And if we assume Fury wins the rematch, then they're going to go to an Anthony Joshua fight. So that is going to be what I think will be his 2 next fights. He'll fight Wilder probably in October and then come back and fight Joshua after that.
But why would we believe Wilder has any chance at all after he got dominated the first fight?
They had a rematch clause. I thought Wilder should have just turned down the rematch clause and said, you know what, I want to take 6 months off, then I want to work on my game, and then maybe I'll get a rematch next year. But he exercised the rematch clause, which they were contractually obligated to give him. So that's why they're going to do it.
Yeah, but I still think that Bob and Shelley will talk, and I think Bob might say, let Fury and Joshua first, and let Wilder get the winner. I think Bob's going to talk to, even if it ain't Joshua, I think he'll give Bob will talk Shelley into taking some step-aside money to let him do one optional defense. You know what I mean? Over there.
Right.
Yeah, anyhow. Kevin, I can't thank you enough, man. I mean, your insight is always right on. I just wanted to hear it from somebody who was there. And as we talked about, the atmosphere was electric. Atmosphere was electric, you said. And I think the heavyweights are back. A heavyweight division is back in a big way.
I hope we see Deontay come back and perform at a high level, and I hope Tyson goes on to continue to be a star because he made himself a star.
Oh, he did. He did. I mean, he's a character, man. He starts singing after. I mean, you got to admire that. He's a character. And he's a personality. And what's the one thing boxing's lacked over the last several years is personalities.
Yes, he is.
People always said, "What's wrong with boxing?" I said, "We lack personalities. That's what's wrong. We got a lot of good fighters, but not very few have personalities."
Understand what it takes to promote it. And if I had a criticism, that's what it is. And these two guys went out and did it, so they know what it takes. But the other guys in the sport don't always know that.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to a lot of these young guys when I was doing commentary with some of these young guys from the PBC, and I listened to them talking. I'm thinking, man, they got no clue. They got no clue,
Yep.
I just don't understand. The guy fights. They need 8 weeks to 10 weeks to train. I said, what do they get ready for? A fight or a marathon? I got ready. 6 weeks was perfect for me. But I'm not just saying. I mean, Marvin wasn't a lot more. I think Marvin was about 6 to 7 weeks. Tommy and Ray were about the same, and we won 15 rounds. They're getting ready. They need 8 to 10 to 12 weeks to get ready for what? A 12-rounder. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Oh, anyhow, Kevin, thank you so much. Honest to God, I hope down the road we'll have you on again if you allow us to, because you're wonderful. And
anytime, I would love it, brother.
I appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you so much. Pittsburgh Zone,
yeah.
Pittsburgh Zone.
If you ever come back this way, let us know, and you can still detect the Pittsburgh accent. It's still in there, so you still got it, buddy.
And I want to get some spaghetti in Youngstown.
Oh, we have the best. We have the best.
Love it. Kevin,
I will be there, guys.
I'm going to give you the 10-cent tour. You come to Youngstown. Thank you again for everything.
I'll see you, boys.
Thank you, buddy. Take care.
Thank you.
God bless.
Bye.
Wow. That's the guy, my man, who knows boxing.
You're not gonna get too many bigger names than that.
No, as far as boxing writer knows the game. Kevin Iole's been around. He's a review journal. I didn't realize. I thought he was still writing for both. I knew he was writing for Yahoo. I didn't realize he was strictly for Yahoo.
And that was, in 2007. Speaking from a journalism standpoint, that was a leap. Like internet,
nobody knew exactly.
Well, and it seemed fake. The term fake news.
Yeah.
When you're working with the Associated Press and doing all that stuff at a newspaper,
broad, right.
and then you go to like an internet, there are a million fake internet websites too. So that's really a leap to see that. Yeah, I think. I mean, he would probably talk on it differently, but in my opinion, I mean that shows how good the guy is, and he's been there ever since.
I mean, like I said, one of the top boxing writers, it was after him, Dan Raphael, and Steve Kim, probably the top three. I mean, I'm sure there's other guys in there too, but I mean, those are the top three I know.
So, does Canadian beat this Fury?
Yeah.
Or is every fight a little bit different?
I think it's very beatable.
I mean, neither one really box. You know what I mean? And I don't know if they have to.
I think he's beatable, and I'll tell you what may play a problem is that his success. He won, and I know Aram's on there, man. You're going to go over, you get, and then you celebrate for a week to get your ass to the gym. That's one thing about get your ass back to the gym. Because guys like him, a lot of guys, like the Andy Ruiz thing. Well, why wouldn't you? All you need is a week to relax. Then you get back. You ain't going to full-on training. Shadow box, around jump rope, easy, like 5 or 6 rounds. That's it, just to break a sweat. Do road work, maybe a mile, walk a mile, run a mile.
Well, he shows how quickly he can get away from you.
Yeah, man.
If you don't.
But Tyson Fury, man, forget about it. He might be the king. I mean, literally make him a king over there. They're going to make him a lord or something. They'll knight him.
Sir
They'll knight
Tyson.
him over there.
Yeah,
they'll knight him. And I'll be surprised if they don't. They might knight him. It's just incredible. The fight was a hell of an event. Like I said, I wasn't there this time. I felt bad. I wish I was. It was a co-production, but because it was Fox and ESPN together, they took only certain people from Fox, certain people from ESPN. And obviously, I'm living in Youngstown. The guys that were working were right there. You guys, Sean works in Vegas, lives in Vegas. Kate and everybody else is over in LA. It's an hour jump. So, anyhow.
They're talented.
Very talented. They did a great job. I enjoyed the
pedestrian.
I enjoyed it tremendously. I just wish
good.
I wish I would have been part of it. I would have loved to have been part of it, but next one will be, anyhow. But, that was a hell of a fight. If anybody chance to see, I don't know if it used to be if it was pay-per-view.
They'd show it again.
They showed it again.
Right.
And
they might.
On HBO or whatever.
I don't know.
So they got to. I mean, ESPN, I'm sure will. ESPN will, and I'm sure Fox will.
Would think.
They got to. They show it on regular TV. Probably make it a couple weeks. Probably give you a 2-week window, maybe.
Sense. We couldn't hear. I was at a bar. We couldn't hear the announcers, and I think we had the ESPN
That's okay.
feed.
You're better off.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes, but you can.
Sometimes, if it's me, you want to hear me.
But we couldn't see on the feed the towel come in, and
I didn't
see,
either.
and all that stuff.
I just thought he stopped it because he was taking ass women.
That's what I thought
I just
too.
thought he took an ass women, and so he stopped it. I didn't know that Mark threw in the towel. And the Deontay.
I would like to hear it again and actually hear what the guys are saying, especially in between rounds.
And
Did anyone think Wilder won any rounds? I thought maybe he won one.
I don't
in
think
the,
anybody,
like
no.
2 or 3.
No, I don't think
not,
anybody.
like round 2, round 3
I don't
in there.
think anybody did. I don't think.
He did win, kind of officially, semi-officially won, but you didn't have him win any rounds,
No,
did you?
I didn't.
That's what I'm saying. That's why, to me, it wasn't a good fight because one guy fought and the other guy didn't.
No, one guy fought, just didn't fight well. I mean, that wasn't like he was trying. He was.
I'm not saying the effort wasn't there. He just,
but that's the thing. He wasn't fighting well.
And this, for a lot of people like me, this is the first time to see either one of them really in action because most of us missed the first fight that was so fantastic. So you build it up so much in your mind, and then it's like watching Golden State win by 40 points. The other team's trying, but Golden State's just better that day, and that's how it goes. I don't know. That's kind of how I felt.
Yeah.
So, but I see what you're saying. The event itself, the spectacle of it.
It's a spectacle. That's exactly right. And to live up to that, I think people paid, they saw an upset. That's what, anytime it's an upset, it's a spectacle. It's worth the price. People be talking about it for a long time. And everything he said he'd do, he did. Oh. So I can only imagine for the next fight, whoever he fights, if they did a rematch, oh my God, press conference for that one? Oh my God.
Right.
But anyhow.
You want to talk about your speaker coming up?
Yes, speaker series. I've talked about it before.
And then we can talk about the winery a little bit.
Yes,
too.
ladies and gentlemen, I've talked about it before. On March 18th of this year, down at the Iole Center, downtown Youngstown, we have the first of hopefully many events of we're going to do my speaker series. So we're doing a speaker series, bringing people from, like I said, outside the box that are, you know what I was doing?
What?
I apologize for watching me on TV.
Okay,
I'm looking down. I see the apple. I'm looking at the apple thinking that's the thing.
That's okay.
Instead of looking at the camera.
That's okay.
Oh, my God. It was looking, why is he looking down? Why is he looking? Oh, God. I was mesmerized by the apple.
Uh-huh.
I was looking at the apple.
The apple. It's lit
ladies
up.
Ladies and gentlemen, see,
it's
man, way too many fights. Too many fights.
Good thing a squirrel didn't walk by.
It's a joke. It's a yoke. It's a yoke.
Sure.
Because,
But I'm sure you get asked that a lot.
I used to tell this a lot. My father used to say, when he forgets something, he said, I had over 100 fights. What's your excuse? People laugh. I say, I had over 70 fights. What's your excuse? People go, I understand. I know. I go, it's a joke, man. It's a joke. It's just a joke. Oh God! Anyhow, and I'm looking down, and people say, "Why is he looking down?" That was why I was mesmerized. I got distracted by the apple on his computer, and I'm looking like that's the camera. See, anyhow, it's just a tough day, tired. Yeah, I can use that. My pants are too tight. My pants are too tight.
That's always my problem.
I walked in, my pants too tight. I cut off the oxygen to my brain.
It's not your fault.
Oh God! I've caught myself. Oh my God!
Not the skinny jeans. You're not wearing your skinny jeans.
No, I didn't wear them today. Not today. No, it's wintertime. Wintertime, I go with I like the boob bell bottom. I like the boob cut.
Okay.
On the wintertime. Summertime, I do the
or the skinny jeans.
The
tapered look.
Tapered look. Right.
Gotcha.
So, anyhow, but anyhow.
So Michael's coming.
So Michael Francese,
March the 18th, right?
I didn't know where I was going.
I know.
Thank you, Michael.
70 fights. I've had none.
Michael Francese, who was a former youngest organized crime boss in history. He was 24 years old. He was a crime boss for the Colombo crime family, one of the top 5 families. And he made more money for any single family other than Al Capone. And in 1986, he was recognized. He was number 15 on the top money-making crime bosses of all time. And since then, it's gone way up. Like I said, he went away, got jammed up, went away, and and then got out after 8 years. He got out, and while I was in jail, he found the Bible and started reading the Bible, and became a fighter for Christ. Became a born again Christian, and now when he walks out, he speaks all over the country, all over the world, about his faith, his Christianity, his conversion. But he also talks about what it was to be raised. His father, Sonny, you heard me talk about his father, Sonny, was the oldest organized crime boss in history. 103 years old, died yesterday.
No kidding.
Died yesterday. 103 years old, oldest
at home. I hope
living. He was in a nursing home. He wasn't in jail. He was in a nursing home upstate New York. He got out of jail 101 years old. They put him back. He got out at 98. They put him back in.
Again, that's what I'm saying.
And he got out at 101.
Something went wrong.
101. But he was 103 years old. He was the oldest organized crime figure ever. And he just passed away yesterday. So very sorry to hear. And I texted Michael, and he said, Ray, you had a good life, And Michael, I don't think Michael would mind. I'm interesting when I say something he said to me interesting yesterday, and I don't think he'd mind if I.
Was it about his dad?
Yeah, and I said to him, he said, condolences, but I said, Ray, thank you, Ray, most appreciated. He was so much a part of the person I am today. He said he is so much a part of the person I am today, good or bad. He said he was a good father. Life is tough, tough loss. But I thought that was interesting when he said he was so much a part of the person I am, because Michael Michael became a boss at 24 because of his brain. Michael was had a Mensa mentality. The IQ was off the charts.
How old do you think he is? If his dad was 103.
Michael's 68 years old.
Okay.
But Michael was adopted. His mother married. Michael was less than about a year old, and Sonny adopted him. And Michael talks about he doesn't talk about his whole though he knows who he is. But he said he looked at Sonny as his father because his father raised him. He adopted him and raised him, and he took the Francese name.
Well, then what's nice about this when he anything you can ask any question you want, right? If you open it up to questions.
Yeah, and Michael
he's
says
very forthcoming.
Yes, very forthcoming
with his answers.
And he opened, but as he says, but he talks about his sit down with John Gotti, which is one of the greatest stories I ever heard. And you say, he talks about life in a mob and what it was, and then having all the accoutrements, the planes, the boats, the cars and homes and. And he talks about when he gets stripped from you when you go into jail and they take you every day. It means nothing when they take you and you're stripped down and you're in jail. And he found his Bible and he started reading about. And Michael it's just amazing. I've heard him before, and if you haven't heard him, believe me, I've told people it's entertaining because he talks about the mob. It tells you entertaining. It's so interesting. It's so. It's just you can't believe these stories are true, but more than anything, it's life altering. It's life altering. You hear his message, and you can't help but be affected by his faith. His faith is so strong, and he says he did what he said you couldn't do. He walked away from the mob. They said you can't. He bled him. He walked away, and he said, by all accounts, I shouldn't be alive. By all accounts, I shouldn't be, but I am only for one reason, because of my Lord Jesus Christ. And he said, he's the greatest bodyguard I have, the only bodyguard I have in need. It's just amazing, man. It's just, so if you get March 18th down to Dior, call the Dior desk. I have no tickets. Nobody has tickets. They handle all the tickets. So it's the Ford recital, Dior, at the Dior Center, downtown Youngstown.
But there's no bad seats, but there are limited seats. You got to get your seat,
Get your seat, please. Yes, and
you can be a sponsor if you want.
We have a VIP package. $60. It's $60 a person, $100 a couple, and that the VIP package is a meet and greet with Michael before the show. You get picture taken, food, and then afterwards he'll sign books. He does a book signing. Sure. If you want to buy his biography, you could do that. If you just want to come and just hear him talk, and you don't care about the food, you don't care about meeting him in person, then there's just $25 at the door. But if you're going to pay $25, why wouldn't you just a little bit more money? You get the food, and you get to meet them, and you get to, it's just, to me, it's a better pay. Anyhow,
Good value.
So, called the Ford Recital, the Iole Center, downtown Youngstown, ticket office for tickets. They handled everything. So, again, March 18th. March 18th, couple weeks. And if you're interested in being a sponsor for it, we are taking sponsorships. And for that, it gives you, it depends. We have whole packages, half packages, sponsorships. And you get tickets, tickets for, several tickets for many people. Call us, we'll tell you about the packages. If you look on Facebook page, Ray Boom Mancini, on my Facebook page. I have the advertisement there, or call the foundation number, our foundation number, Ray Boom Mancini Foundation, at 559-8891. 559-8891, and we'll get back to you and answer all the questions you have. If you're interested in sponsorship or anything else about tickets, please call. Okay.
That's it.
That's it, man.
Don't we love this winery?
I do.
Look, they have 12 different kinds of wines here. And you tasted them last week.
I
had them last
week. It was pretty good. The Merlot was excellent.
Yeah.
And the Montepulciano, we tried that. And the Chardonnay, I just want to thank Char and Ben.
Charbonnet.
Us, Charbonnet. Oh,
right.
I thought they threw a little French flavor to it, but it's.
Why can't it be
Chardonnay?
Charbonnet? We just throw
Bada
you
boom,
in.
bada boom, bada bing. Why don't we
Add
just
you
throw
in?
that out there?
Yeah.
Why don't we just throw it out there?
I don't know if they thought of it. I'm
Ben,
just
you
going
hear that? Charbonnet.
Yeah.
Charbonnet Winery.
Just if you just go out and put a little R in there, nobody even
notice.
Oh no. And they work in conjunction with the Robbins Theater. So if there's an
Downtown
event,
Warren.
come here first. Forth.
Full menu, full kitchen. I told my wife, we got to. I was telling my wife, but we're gonna come to the Robbins Theater, say show. But the best thing is come and get dinner first. They shuttle you over. Don't gotta drive.
No.
And they shuttle you back after the show, and then you can after dinner drinks, after show drink, or after before dinner and drinks. Afterwards, come have a late night aperitif, and go home on that. It's the best deal in town. I'm telling you, the Charbonnet winery here in downtown Warren. I wish we had one in downtown Youngstown,
right?
But we don't. But soon, they're in conjunction, as Mike said, with the Robbins Theater and upcoming events. What they got coming up?
Let's see. Animaniacs is the 22nd. This weekend, Wish You Were Here. That's the Pink Floyd tribute band. Is Saturday the 29th, and then Blue Oyster Cult comes to town.
I was like Blue Oyster
on March 8th. What are you giving up for Lent? It's tomorrow.
Speaking to you.
Again? Every year.
Tomorrow is Lent.
Not fair.
And for those for those Christians and Catholics and Christians and who give up. Look, the whole thing has changed through the years. When I was growing up, you couldn't eat or drink anything.
No, you fast. You had to fast.
Fast,
right.
total.
Right.
Food, total abstinence of. But they find out that it's not healthy, not drinking water. It's not food, not having a little bit of brain food. So now the church has changed it. You get one full meal, which means you can have something in the morning. I have toast in the morning, coffee, and then I'll have a bowl of soup in the afternoon, and maybe like a salad at night. So it's like one full meal, but it's not
spread
a
out.
full meal. Spread out. And
one time when I was on the news a couple years back, I mentioned Ash Wednesday. They put the ashes on your forehead.
Right.
And I said, I wish there was a way they could put the ashes somewhere else. I mean, does it have to be on my face, the ashes? If they could put them, I'm all for the ashes. Put them on my hand, put them on my, I don't care. Anywhere else, please, because you can't take them off. You're not supposed to wash them off. You got to leave them on all day long.
Right, and they fall off.
And there's dirt on your face all day long.
Right.
Holy dirt, So I thought, could they just put it somewhere else? The Monsignor called the station and demanded an apology, and I got in pretty big trouble.
Oh, no kidding.
For mentioning that on the news, yes. But I still feel that way. Can't they just put it somewhere else?
Okay, no, we're gonna get.
We're gonna get another call from the Monsignor.
I've been to Procure School for all 12 years.
Well, sure, we all have.
Wait a minute. I used to get people in LA would say, "Hey,
you get a little."
yeah,
right, because they don't know.
It's a holy day.
I don't know. So anyhow,
it's a holy day.
Don't do what I do.
So
give your thoughts.
When they say give up, so another thing is too. Fast abstinence means when they say fast abstinence, fasting from abstinence. You know what that means, don't you, John?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
He's on abstinence right now.
Abstinence.
Aren't you?
No playing with your mate.
No pleasures of the flesh. None of that.
That's exactly right. We abstain from pleasures.
Wait, just tomorrow or?
Just tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And Good Friday. And most Sundays. No. but no, but that like people just say
40 days. This crap.
I used to try to stick to that pretty good. I tried to.
Wow.
And I did pretty good.
Look at you.
No, abstain from sexual relations tomorrow, please. If you believe in your faith, you're tight with your faith. That's what that fast. That's what we do. We give up pleasures of the body, food, and all other types of pleasures to the body. So,
I didn't know. I didn't know that. I wish I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't even listen to music.
Tomorrow?
I know.
I could see Good Friday, but tomorrow?
I don't. I leave it off.
Well, what do you do all day?
I think, read, get into my own thoughts. Yeah, but
Zumba. Oh, that's music. You can't do that.
So anyhow, but if you are a Catholic Christian then or a Christian period,
It makes me feel so bad about myself.
Is whole Ash Wednesday. Make sure you get to church. If you forgot it was going to be Ash Wednesday, call, find out what time is Mass at your local church. Yeah. And if you got the bulletin, it should be in there.
All right. And I have the Monsignor's number now. So, ask me. I'll give you just give him a call.
You got scolded.
Oh, I got in trouble.
You got scolded.
I got in trouble.
What did the station say, Mike?
They said, we're not going to make you apologize because we think you were kidding around. And I said, it really wasn't. And she said, well, I'm not going to make you apologize. And I talked to the Monsignor, and I don't think they like me anymore. I think the bishop.
Did you tell him I'm not going to apologize?
I would have if they would have made me.
But you didn't.
No, I didn't.
So what did you tell the Monsignor? Monsignor, I'm not going to apologize.
I didn't talk to the Monsignor himself. He went over my head and talked to my boss, the news director.
Okay, but did you say I wasn't joking? I think, but Mike, no.
No.
Mike, that's all I did.
I think I was just going to drop it. At the time, I just wanted to drop it.
I got you.
I felt really
You
bad.
get the cross in your head. That's important.
I know. Again, it's
Well,
on my
where?
face.
Well, here.
There are millions of diseases
you
around.
Cross. We do it the forehead, lips, and heart, right?
Right.
So why don't you just put it across your lips? How's that? Is that
Some
better?
dirt on my lips.
Is that
Why
better
not?
yet? Is
Might
that
as
better
well.
yet? Anyhow.
I put it on my heart. I would do it
All
on my
right.
heart. That would be better.
So tomorrow's Ash Wednesday for Catholic Christians to observe.
Yeah.
Anyhow, other than that, we'll be back next Tuesday.
You want to?
Do I
I
have
don't
to?
know. The lightning may hit me as I walk out of
Do
here.
we have to?
Yeah, unless you gave me up for Lent. If you really are serious,
Oh, better move.
that's fine.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, next Tuesday we'll be on again. I'm trying to. What is next Tuesday? I should be in. Yes,
We're into March. We'll be into March next week.
Yes, March 4th. Was it?
It'll be
Oh,
the
the
first
third.
on Sunday.
Oh yes. I'm
Second,
sorry. It is
third.
the Thoid. It is the Thoid.
With the Thoid.
We could do Dalton.
You want Dalton?
We could do Dalton.
You want him back? Will he come in?
Okay.
Oh.
We'll get Dalton Rasta, MMA rising star, maybe the future superstar.
Is he training for something? Or could he have a little bit of wine? Oh, okay.
Future wine.
He might have a sip of wine
You
with
get a
us,
sip
right?
of the
I
grapes.
think we should be more
You can have a
wine.
sip of the grapes.
Don't you think there ought to be more
Well,
wine?
I'll guarantee he ain't training now for the fight. That's the point. He ain't going for 2 months. You work out, but you ain't training for the fight. He stays in shape. That's all you do. Just maintenance until X amount of time. You know the perfect time. Every fighter knows when you peak at the right time. It's a science, folks. You got to know when you peak. Your body peaks. It's like sharpening a knife. You keep sharpening the knife, you're going to dull the knife. You want to get to its finest point. And that's when you know when you're sharpening. That's when you peak. That's the body. So 6 weeks was perfect for me. And when I went 7 is when I lost my title to Bramble. And people, why'd you go 7? I said, I wanted it next week. I wanted it because I trained up in the cat. I wanted to go. We went up to Lake Tahoe. And my trainer said, Ray, no, Griff. So, trainers will tell you, they don't want to mess with a fighter's psyche. So he allowed me to do it. And I tell you, I peaked. 6 weeks, I peaked.
So he was
I
right.
peaked at the right time. Except I had another week to go.
One more week.
And I went into that, I was like a wet noodle. I had nothing. And I got beat. I got beat good. That's
Just because
kind
of 1 extra week.
Yes, your body. If you're training, you got it's a science, Mike. Your body peaks. You keep sharpening the knife. Keep sharpening. What happens? That's exactly.
Would
the
you have
point.
won if it was a 6 week?
Yeah, I'm not.
In your
gonna say that.
opinion?
No, I'm not gonna. I like to think I would.
You would have been better.
I would have been much better. Yes.
Okay.
I would have been much better. I was winning going after this. I was winning. Put it this way, I was winning after 14. I was winning going into the 14th when I got stopped.
Well, there you go.
So, but I'm never gonna take away his performance because he beat me good. So, I would have been better. I would have been better.
That's fair.
That's all.
Totally fair. All right, that's it.
All right. Well, ladies and
We've only
gentlemen,
offended a
until
few
next
people.
week, we can only offend so many at one time. We want to save the rest for later.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed the show, tell your friends. Hit us up on Facebook. Let us know your thoughts, ideas, anything else. Anybody else you think we should have on the show that we can get? Please let us know. It's Ray's Boom Boom Room What's the page? RaisedBoomBoom.com. Right?
That's how you can look it up.
Raised
Just
Boom-
go right
yeah,
on your.
but Raised Boom Boom.
It's right on there.
That's it. All right. Until next time. Take care of each other. Love each other. Good night and God bless.